Oh, boy. Let me adjust my microphone, Joe.
It's critical.
I need to adjust my microphone. I got to log into HBO.
Of course.
Got to log into Netflix. We log into Hulu. Log
You
into
still have any of that shit?
I have Netflix.
Yeah, don't you have like Discovery Plus or something?
Yeah, I have Discovery Plus through Amazon because I love Bigfoot.
Wait. So do I have Discovery Plus? Because I have Prime.
If you have Prime, you can subscribe to more channels through Prime.
Uh-huh.
So you can add like Paramount Plus, Discovery Plus, Logo Plus, Oprah Plus,
Channel
Oprah Plus.
You get more with Oprah Plus than regular Oprah.
You get more than regular Oprah.
Bogey just heard a thunderclap, and he's going to come over here and lay down next to me.
I love how Oprah magazine, O magazine, like how self-indulgent do you have to be to like, I think she's been on every single cover. I don't think there's ever been a cover that's not had her on it.
I deserve my own magazine is what
You're telling me if there was a magazine called Joe Magazine, it wouldn't be you every month?
I'd buy Joe Plus.
I don't know. I just
Joe
think that it's like
I'm a subscriber to Joe Plus.
No one would subscribe to that.
You get everything you get with normal Joe, but more.
You talk about anarchism and in like gay culture, but from an anarchist point of view, like anarchy gay.
Of course. Oh, I love this Alex Jones thing. What the fuck was that?
That was my Mid-Journey combination of Seinfeld and Alex Jones.
It was great.
So Mid-Journey decided that Alex Jones best fits on George Costanza.
That makes sense.
It does.
And it only makes common sense.
It makes logical sense. It looks like it's noon. I believe it's time that we can start the madness.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Do it.
Oh.
What are we waiting for? Let's do it.
The poop fairy. He's got the mind of a child.
It's all happening.
Nerds! Random quote. Repeat the line.
Bigfoot.
Live from Command Center Alpha 1, it's the OBDM podcast. Now here's your hosts, Mr. Falcon and the Rascal.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another fun-filled podcast adventure. Yes. My name is Midnight Mike. Cretchit is over there on screen.
Who runs Bartertown?
Who runs Bartertown? Let me get the images up there on screen. There, I did that. And Joe's over there too.
Yep. Here we are again.
Yep. Back on a Saturday. Boy, it's all happening, people. And it looks like I shouldn't have to tell anybody this, but it looks like Tom Cruise is back in a big way.
And by big, you mean like 5'5", right?
Huge. He's just a Titanic movie star. And Joe needs to understand this, that Tom Cruise is not going away anytime soon.
You're right. I've been advocating for his removal.
Yeah. You have been. You slept through his most recent movie, flipping your nose at Tom Cruise and all the work that he does.
Jesus Christ, what a fucking snooze.
But the newest Tom Cruise movie, Top Gun 2, has made more domestically than Titanic.
Wait, this is Top Gun 2 Cruise Control, that one?
Exactly. That movie has made more domestically than James Cameron Titanic. This newest Tom Cruise movie is insanely popular. It is on a roll, baby. It is not going away anytime soon, no matter what Joe thinks and what he thinks of Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise is back in a big way. He's back on top, and I couldn't be happier. This is a positive step forward.
Is it seriously made more money than Titanic? Is that real?
Domestically, not worldwide, domestically. So U.S.
Well, that's the only thing that matters.
Yeah, I care about the United States. I'm a U.S. American, and I got to support that.
Do you have any maps?
I'm fresh out of maps,
Not all U.S. Americans have maps.
and we're working on that. But this is a quick little fun fact about Top Gun 2 and Tom Cruise. So yeah, Top Gun has overtaken Titanic at the box office.
Oh, sure.
Yes, but also no. So there's a conflict here. So at this point, this is written by MSN.com. At this point, the Need for Speed jokes should have fully run their course. Top Gun Maverick is entering its third month in theaters, where it has far exceeded the initial box office projections. And marked a career milestone for Tom Cruise by passing the $1 billion mark, earning globally thus far $1.2 billion. The film is currently ranked 11th among initial runs in North American box office earnings, and is still making money. So it's incredible.
Wait. You just said it passed Titanic domestically, but is ranked 11th.
Ranked 11th among initial run North American box office. So I think,
what does that mean?
I think if I had to assume, it means that it's released and it's through its initial run. It hasn't been re-released like later on the year for a second run because of popular demand or anything like that. Whereas maybe Titanic became the behemoth that it was because its initial run was mammoth, and then it came back for basically an encore release. I think.
I was running a theater when Titanic came out. It just stuck around.
You were a projectionist?
I was a general manager of a multiplex.
Were you ever a projectionist like I was?
Yes, I attributed my faults to others. I'm a projectionist. Yes, as part of that, I had to do projection. Yeah, so I had to carry cans and splice films and all that stuff.
Sorry, I just hit go live on the No Agenda stream. I forgot to do that. And now we're live over there. Talking about Top Gun.
Get distracted by your sexy Tom Cruise talk.
Yeah, I get excited about Tom Cruise. I think he's a very positive figure in the world, and I think this is just a fascinating kind of phenomenon that's going on. And just real quick to wrap up our Tom Cruise news, because I know everyone likes Tom Cruise news.
The Tom news.
There was controversy before the release of the movie, because there was a trailer and at least some screenshots of Tom Cruise wearing like a flight jacket, and there were various patches on there. And those patches did include some things that China would consider controversial, like a patch of a Taiwanese military emblem or something like that. And there was speculation that would be removed for the Chinese audience as to not to offend the Hollywood Chinese connection. But according to this most recent report also by MSN, Top Gun 2 Taiwanese flag patch signals a major change in Hollywood. Top Gun 2 Maverick's Taiwanese flag patch isn't just a clue to the character's past, it's a clue to a major change in the way Hollywood does business. The long-awaited sequel to Top Gun is garnering universal acclaim for its commitment to authenticity. In an era where rampant CGI is taking the weight out of action movies, Top Gun Maverick is ditching CGI for a physical and emotional heft of practical effects. Green screens have been eschewed for real locations and in-cockpit camera rigs, stunt pilots for the actors themselves, and the stars enduring a 3-month training regimen designed by Tom Cruise himself. So Tom Cruise is...
Wait, what does this have to do with his jacket? This article changed halfway through.
Well, yeah,
they're like, hey, we're going to debunk this thing about patches. Let me tell you about how much time he spent training to fly.
Well, they wanted to pump it up. So it's illuminating an endearing character detail, but the significance of Maverick's Taiwanese patch, the Taiwanese flag, goes beyond authenticity and cinematic world building. So we have to continue reading to figure out more.
By the way, I do have a photo comparing on the left was him in the first movie, and on the right is the same jacket for the new one. And yes, they did change it. So any debunking going on in this article is false.
So the flag patch signals a shift in Hollywood away from placating the Chinese censors in return for financing and distribution. With a population of 1.4 billion, China represents the second biggest box office market on Earth. Is also very strict about what can and can't be shown on screen, with sympathetic portrayals of America, Christianity, and same-sex romances, to name a few, off limits. For the years, major Hollywood studios have acknowledged or kowtowed to China, relying on Chinese backing and box office numbers to help them make bigger profits and better performing blockbusters. But with this, when Paramount dropped its Top Gun Maverick trailer in 2019, it looked like the studio is doing just that. As observers quickly pointed out online, Maverick's jacket's Taiwanese flag was gone, replaced by abstract symbol of the same color. The reason wasn't clear. But as of 2022, in its release, it is back. So they decided to remain authentic to the character and the lore of Top Gun. And maybe this is a good signal that Hollywood is saying, you know what, we're going to remain true to what we want. And maybe serve the American audience first, because Top Gun, that's an American film. I doubt that many Chinese people would care about it that much, but what do I know? Maybe not. Maybe they would love to see this.
So the point of this article started out saying that people were upset about the patches being changed to placate the Chinese audiences.
Yes.
But then it talked about how much practical work they did in the film to avoid CGI.
Yes.
But now they're saying 3 years after they filmed those scenes, they have changed the jacket back, presumably with CGI.
I would
have
imagine
the original patch on it. I'm not.
Or they originally filmed it with the real Taiwanese flag, used CGI to go in there and to remove that Taiwanese flag, and then they did an Command Z undo. They did undo to undo those changes.
Good Lord.
Now maybe
I did hear, because of the massive Chinese box office, they did have to change a few things in the film, similar to what happened with the remake of Red Dawn a number of years ago. So the entire subplot or primary plot of the Top Gun 2 was him going in and saving the Uyghurs, and they had to CGI all that out.
I don't know if that's true.
So now he saves. Now they go to Australia and save kangaroos.
Oh. I thought they changed it where he just went over there and bombed all the Uyghurs for China.
All the Uyghurs.
Yeah.
And then he yelled China #1.
Yeah. Chinese audience would love that. So there you go. Some Tom Cruise movie, much to Joe's chagrin. He's not going away anytime soon. In fact, this movie's so popular, I bet we're going to get Top Gun 3. Probably.
Maybe 4?
Probably. Maybe even 4. Top Gun 4.
Okay. Well, I don't have to buy melatonin anymore.
Joe goes to Tom Cruise movies just to go to sleep. Some people use white noise or an app. He uses Tom Cruise. That's fine.
Likes the rooms with a cool temperature, low lights, and Tom Cruise prattling on about something.
And the sound of people eating popcorn.
The guy behind you in the cowboy hat who's just double fisting popcorn.
Hey, man, I love Tom Cruise, man. Well, that was fun. I'm sure everyone loved that story. And we'll move on to some other headlines. I don't really have a segment. I just got some headlines that I think are interesting. You can leave the Tom Cruise out of that one. That wasn't part of... I guess I did find it interesting. I don't know if the audience finds it interesting. Probably not.
Well, you did that entire segment to placate our Chinese audience.
I did. Well, no, I didn't. I did it to placate our Tom Cruise audience. Hopefully Tom Cruise does listen to this, and he knows I'm a big fan.
Our audience of one, Mr. Tom Cruise.
I've often said, and I've gotten to many arguments about this, that Tom Cruise, pound for pound, is a better actor and does more, more beneficial films in the realm of sci-fi than Keanu Reeves. I think Tom Cruise does better science fiction movies than Keanu Reeves. Prove me wrong.
I'd have to get out pen and paper on this.
We'll debate this at length in the Discord. But I have a headline here that I think some people may like. Yes, okay. Here's a new headline here. Pentagon renames and expands its UFO office.
That's some good news on that front.
Yes, the Pentagon's doing some new things concerning UFOs. The U.S. government's official UFO investigation office is being rebranded just after 8 months on the job. Formerly known as the Airborne Object Identification and Management Group, the office is now being updated and expanded to investigate more than just unidentified objects. The new name will be the AARO, Airborne Object Identification and Management Group. So AARO, I'm assuming that's what they're going to use. Its expanded focus will look into what are being referred to as transmedium objects, unidentified vehicles capable of operating both in the sky and under the sea. This definition also applies to objects capable of transitioning from flying within Earth's atmosphere to flying in space. And the updated name reflects the growing number of reports from U.S. Navy personnel involving objects that have seen emerging from the sea and moving into or out of the water. It's very fascinating that they're doing this. So whether or not the public will actually get to hear about the group's findings, however, it remains to be unseen. So they got a big rundown on Defense One or defensenews.com. And what they're doing, so they're rebranding this new Pentagon office. They're telling the previous program to shut down. And by the way, send us all the material that you have. Send us over all the paperwork. We want all of that stuff, and we're going to be hiring probably some new people. So with that paper trail, there could be FOIA requests. I know John Greenwald of the Black Vault, he is already hot on the trail because they're naming specific items that they want moved over. So he's going to be doing FOIA requests to see what he can get out of this. Some of the most interesting things. So they're looking not just in the Earth's atmosphere at this point. They're actively saying that they're going to start taking reports from astronauts or whoever's up in space about UFOs, and then also under the sea, under the ocean, which has been a primary concern for a lot of UFO investigators, that they haven't really, the U.S. military hasn't really been talking about that too heavily. Even though a good number of the more interesting UFO cases does involve objects coming out of the water, and then rumors of underwater alien bases off the coast of Malibu, for instance, and near Puerto Rico. I've covered a couple of firsthand or reports of humanoid encounters from people firsthand conveying their abduction experiences and being taken aboard this craft and taken underwater to some facilities to where they're experimented on. I don't think the Pentagon's going to go into that. They want to ignore everything that has happened previous to 2003, and they just want to move forward. They're ignoring pretty much the long and storied history of UFO abductions, cattle mutilations, and all that stuff throughout the 70s, 80s, and 90s. And they're just saying, hey, scratch that. We're starting from this point, 2003, and onward. So there we go.
Is this the office that Shatner is in charge of?
Yes, this is the one. Well, no, the office that is being shut down, that was where he was answering phones. So unless he gets a job transfer, Shatner's out of luck, unfortunately.
I'm curious why they keep changing the name of this to something that doesn't have the phraseology UFO in it, because that's all we want to know. So every time they come up with whatever the new, it was ATIP and then AOYO and then Arrow, but it's always going to be comma the UFO reporting office, comma, because no one knows what the hell these things are called.
Yeah.
Kirk here.
Just call it Space Force
here.
and let them talk about UFOs.
It's very curious that they're using the words transmedium. They're taking that very serious.
Very progressive.
Yeah, it is very progressive of them to use those terms and words. It's fascinating, but I don't know if we're going to be able to get any real information out of this. When it's locked up in the Pentagon, they're going to be pretty tight-lipped about this, and we don't know what kind of congressional oversight there really is here. I'm surprised the Congress themselves or the Senate hasn't decided to form their own committee and just tap the resources of the intelligence agencies and the Pentagon and report directly to them. It seems like this is a bottleneck. This new office is a bottleneck where all information will be funneled to this new Pentagon office, and that's where it goes to die. And it's going to be very difficult to get information out of there.
Which is probably the point.
Yeah, that's probably the point. And one last, just to make a reference to Hollywood, since we talked about James Cameron. James Cameron did a movie called The Abyss, I think back in 1988, 1989.
89, yep.
Was it 89? And it's probably one of my favorite movies that he did. Check it out. I don't know if many streaming services have it, but it's about a group of oil. I think they're like oil diggers, oil dredgers.
It was
oilers.
It was an oil drilling. Yeah, it was an oil drilling company trying to prove that an underwater rig would be a viable option.
Yeah, and so it has Ed Harris. The guy from Terminator, the guy who played Kyle Reese,
Michael Biehn.
Michael Biehn, who, by the way, I think is a horrific alcoholic at this point in his life. But I think that's just, I heard that rumor. But I love
spreading that rumor around.
Yeah, and just getting that out there. But it's an amazing movie where there are underwater objects, USOs, underwater submerged objects, undefined, and they encounter these weird anomalies down there. And the United States government sends down like a Navy SEAL team to evaluate the situation. At the same time, they're trying to get this oil rig underwater up and going. It's a really cool movie. Very well done. Awesome. The effects still hold up after 4 decades almost. Mm-hmm. And fascinating movie.
Except the part where they changed everybody's patches to placate the Chinese audience.
Yes. And one last little story here I got. We'll bring this up on screen, please. Yes. Astronauts warned, hold on, let me click this out. Astronauts warned not to masturbate in space as one session can impregnate 3 females.
Stop pumping.
What?
This is what they're saying, Gretchen. And Joe, stop pumping up in space. You're not allowed to do that.
I would love to pump it in space. Oh, wait, is this the one where they're going to get pregnant?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I saw this. I'm glad you, because I didn't read it.
My boyfriend
loved
loved to get pregnant.
Yeah. They love to jizz in space and just see what happens.
Me and my boyfriend love to get pregnant.
Well, astronauts have been warned not to play with their rockets in space so they don't get crewmates
Can we
pregnant.
put them in joke jail? Jesus.
Yeah, that's fucking terrible. Who wrote this article?
I don't know. Self-pleasuring is banned in 0G amid fears of any floating semen could leave female colleagues up the duff. This is obviously written by someone in the UK. This bizarre revelation came on U.S. chat show Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend podcast. During recording, Conan asked a NASA engineer if he ever sent porn to the International Space Station. The boffin, identified only as Smith, told him no, none of that. And O'Brien went on, does porn work in zero gravity? It goes anywhere. Smith told him 3 female astronauts can be impregnated by the same man on the same session. It finds a way. NASA's getting ready to look at how sex in space might work as its plans for future Moon and Mars missions start to unfold. Let's see here. Academics from Montreal say such research is essential for the success of deep space missions and building off-world settlements. So I'm assuming that if you're up in space and you're an astronaut and you really got to pound, that you're just not going to pound it out into the air because it's going to get gunky. It's going to clog up all your knobs and buttons, and you might not be able to, operate the space station effectively if it's just dunked with jizz. And so you're probably going to want to do that. You're probably going to want to sit on your vacuum toilet, so it not only like takes care of number one and number two, it also there's a vacuum that sucks your life seed down the drain too, so it's not going out there spreading in 0G. If you believe that we're in orbit,
they give you space socks. That's all they need.
Wear your space socks before you pump.
Wouldn't it just be easier to tell them just wear a condom all the time?
Yeah, I guess that would be the safest route. Is like put your condom on and then your spacesuit, because you never know when you're going to get aroused in space. I don't know. Do you think it would be because of gravity? There's less gravity in orbit. Do you think it might be maybe easier to get an erection because of blood flow, and you're not fighting gravity? That these guys might be up there just floating around with a boner 24/7. They're constantly erect because there's no gravity.
Excuse me. It's a family show. I'm serious.
I love the idea of like you're floating around on the space station trying to, grow mold and see what you can do under, ultraviolet lights. And then there's just jizz flying all over the place.
And then there's a guy with like 5 PhDs over in the corner pounding off. And he's like, "Hey, Bill, can you come over here?" It's like, "I'm stuck in 0G. Let me pump a little bit to gain some propulsion."
Just using it for propulsion.
Yeah.
Well, or if you get somebody who has the same kind of approach to this that Elon Musk does, where Elon Musk has 27 kids or something like that.
Yeah.
So you've got these scientists out there just seeing how many people they can get pregnant, and he's just got like the board behind him, like he's in prison. He's just chalking them off.
There you go. Yep.
28, got him.
I mean, I'm glad that Conan O'Brien's doing this kind of journalism. He's actually asking
Someone's got to.
These are great questions. And to wind us down, last year, Amazon's Jeff Bezos made headlines when he blasted into space aboard a Willy-shaped rocket. That was the last line of this article.
We're just saying that because it had truck nuts attached to it as it took off.
Fucking hard pumps.
I wonder if Jeff Bezos, he's so rich and everything is so mundane down here on Earth, he has to go to orbit to pound off. It's the only way he can really get his rocks off is going into orbit.
I think Melinda Gates should build a space vagina and Bezos should fly it straight into there.
Yeah, I like that.
Or a space mouth.
That's right.
I'm surprised with all the puns in that article they didn't use the phrase or variation thereof in space nobody can hear you cream or something like that.
But think about this. What they said. They said they're asking astronauts not to pump off in space because they don't want female astronauts to get pregnant. But that would mean that there are female astronauts that are most likely not clothed and they're floating around like spread wide open, ready to receive.
Hey, Mike, you don't know how astronauts what they're doing. You don't know what they're up to.
You're right. I don't know the
normal.
I don't know the day-to-day life of an astronaut. You're right. I have no idea.
They don't come down to your place of business and slap the dick out of your mouth. So let them float around naked, pumping off like they do because it's science. Or
yeah. Hold on. Let me check in with the space station real quick.
Dial straight into that. Watch out, just a bunch of sperm.
Let me check in. If we listen closely, we might be able to hear what's going on at the space station.
I'm sorry, sir. You're sorry for what?
For fucking everything up, sir.
Yeah, what did you fuck up on Monday?
Your boots.
That's right. And how did you fuck my boots up, boy?
I didn't polish them right.
That's right. You didn't polish them right, did you?
You need
sir.
Moon boots.
That's right. I don't understand you. You're a disappointment.
Clean the moon boots.
For everything that you fucked up this week, you can get punished for. You understand?
This is where NASA cuts in and says, you guys are on mic.
A little louder, please.
Yes, sir.
There we go. That's right.
Obviously, they're running a military operation up there.
Very tightly run ship up there.
Yeah, they have hierarchical command, and they like to have clean moon boots. And if you don't clean the moon boots, there's punishment. severe punishment.
They run a tight ship.
There's no doubt about that.
I'm a little skeptical of this whole origin of this report. To the things you've raised about how do they know women are getting pregnant if no one's gotten pregnant in space that we know of, and who are these people who are pumping off and just flicking their knuckle children all over the place up there? Because it's just not sanitary.
Yeah, I don't know. Some people in the chat are saying
raises questions as to what this guy's.
Yeah, Twitch. I had to restart it.
There was a Twitch hiccup. I think it's probably related to your internet being wackadoo.
Yeah, I think what's going on is that some big storms are rolling through, and we might have some internet outages here and there. So apology, people. This is what it's like trying to broadcast and deal with climate change. Can you believe that, Joe? Climate change is doing this to us.
I just think you're a weak stream bitch.
Wrong.
No, yeah, I guess it's all climate change. It's so crazy because people are like, it's 105 in Texas. It's like, yeah, that's what happens because it's Texas.
Joe, it's never been summer ever before. This is the first time.
Well, climate change is not about weather until it is.
You can
it is. Shut
ask
up.
one of our mods, Boogie. He's in Arizona, Phoenix. And is it any hotter in Phoenix right now than it has been for the past 15 to 20 years? I don't think that it is. Like, it hasn't gotten up to 125 in Phoenix. Like what I'm seeing, it's 110, maybe 115. The day that I left Phoenix, it was 111. And that was 2 years ago. And so there's like
my favorite reports coming out of Europe are we have to close roads because the roads are melting. I went, what kind of cheap ass fucking asphalt did you use?
Some people are in the chat saying, get on Rockfin.
Same stuff they put over the vanilla ice creams at Dairy Queen.
Magic Shell?
Yeah, the Magic Shell shit. I love that shit.
That's good stuff.
That's what they should put that on the roads.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's move on. We'll see what Joe has. I've occupied enough of the show, yakking about space and Tom Cruise.
That's our new format. Tom Cruise and Space Show.
I think it's a winning formula.
I think it's time for a Piss Army news blast.
Piss.
Okay, let's do it. Let's do it like a little news attack.
The goblins are finding all kinds of fun happening around the world.
I did look in our news channel in the Discord, and there is an amazing amount of stuff.
Yeah. So let's celebrate.
There's some weird Dutch guy in there just throwing news around.
Oh yeah, I don't know how he finds this shit. We got a Herman from Holland in the chat. He's always finding.
He's got the time. Like,
well,
he's got time to do this.
He's got an 8 hour. He's got an 8 hour jump on everyone else as well.
That's true. So,
so we know that Chuck E. Cheese has to install an octagon for, the parents need to have fun too.
Mm-hmm.
So they're gonna put one in at Disney World now.
So you're just taking stuff right out of my news feeds. So
did you put that one in there? Herman did.
No, in the other news channel, the curated news channel. That's one of the 27 stories I have.
Oh,
wow. Well,
I have a channel that's called My News in Slack. I didn't know that was your purpose there.
We're gonna have.
I thought you were sharing it with nobody.
We're gonna have overlap on these critical stories.
No,
there's no doubt about
like I said, I've got way too many stories we can ever cover. So
this one's weak sauce, but let's look at the video because they're fighting and it's so dumb.
And this is pretty interesting stuff, I guess. But we'll read this here. This is current events news, and Disney World brawl reportedly spurs 2 arrests, bans at the Magic Kingdom.
That's some good news on that front.
Actually, it is good news.
Yeah. So there's a massive brawl that erupted at Disney World's Magic Kingdom this week, has resulted in 2 arrests as well as bans from the theme park for several alleged participants, according to the report. Let's see here. The wild fracas among 10 people erupted outside Mickey's Magic Theater, and so maybe the fact that Mickey Mouse's theater wasn't open to everyone or was too packed caused the fight. It's unclear at this point. But Thursday, after 2 families got into an argument while waiting in line for Mickey's Magic Theater, and the This sparked a tangle of fisticuffs that landed at least one man in the hospital. So we'll take a look at this fun video, and I'll try to describe what's going on. So it looks like there's one family that is wearing white shirts. These are both, I think, black families, and one family is wearing white shirts and like red shorts. The other family, I don't think they're color coordinated like that.
They didn't have their uniforms on. Yeah, it's confusing.
Yeah, it's very confusing. But they are aggressively interacting, and the audio is not like super interesting. But I'll play a little bit right here. Get the ambience of the background to get the overall flavor of what's going on. But then there are women that are going up to other women and smacking them, and then
from behind.
What's that?
From behind.
Yeah, from behind. You're right. And by the way, Disney security is nowhere to be seen. There is no. I have no idea where Disney security is at this point. You'd imagine after the brawl that we showed a few months ago, and that video was almost a year and a half old, Disney would have upped security across the Magic Kingdom, especially at Mickey's Magic Theater. But they haven't done that. They've taken a hands-off approach and are deciding to let these groups of people just kind of fight it out.
It's like hockey. You got to let them work it out, Mike.
It does not. There looks like there's another gentleman being held back by one of his friends. We don't know if he's directly involved. And they continue to tussle and fight at the Magic Kingdom. It's supposed to be the happiest place on earth, and apparently that's not true. I don't think this is happening at Universal. I'm going to tell you that.
I was
if
actually
it is,
just about to
Universal's not. They're not.
Cratchit!
What?
Stepping on my dick.
Whatever. Get your timing right, man.
Yeah, I'm not watching the Zoom. Usually I can tell. Boy, the backgrounds for Cratchit keep on changing. I love those.
The guests claimed that the family had been banned from the Magic Kingdom as well as other Disney properties. Meanwhile, two members of the other family, all of whom were dressed in identical red shorts and a white top, were arrested, the guest claims. So, quote, they're making us leave our resort, which is Riviera, even though we're supposed to be here for another 2 weeks, the guest lamented. We have to leave Disney's property, including Typhoon Lagoon and Disney Springs. So even Typhoon Lagoon is off limits to these families. It's crazy.
The hell,
it's like
Typhoon Lagoon.
They're people like pent up. They have pent up anger issues, and they're like, let's take the kids to Chuck E. Cheese or Disney World. You know what I mean? It's like, what is going on? Like, didn't you come here to have fun? And
yeah,
I don't know, man.
Like,
have you ever gotten in a fight at Cedar Point, Mike?
No, I haven't. I've only gotten into a few fights out in public. One was at a pizzeria, Hound Dog's Pizza, and I was horrifically drunk. Like, and that was like, I started that one, and I got that crap kicked out of me. Got my ribs broken, and they kicked out a tooth.
Is that real?
Oh yeah, this was 2010, 2011. Yeah.
I'm curious. What did you say to Tom Cruise to start this fight?
It wasn't Tom Cruise. So what happened? I basically drank 4 double gin and tonics in the span of an hour. I got blacked out drunk. I went to the bathroom, and people were trying to enter the bathroom, but I decided, no, this is my bathroom. I'm going to hold the line. So I held the door shut. This is what I was told. I'm holding the door shut, and I was yelling awful things at people. And it's this horrible things at people. So I held the door shut. Apparently, the people outside really needed to use the bathroom, and so they rammed through. They as a team of 4 people, they pushed the door through. I went flying back against the wall, and boom, I hit the wall hard. This guy ran in, punched me across the face. My glasses go flying. I hit the floor, and then 2 other gentlemen come up and start kicking me in the ribs, and then another guy kicked me in the face.
Wow.
And then I was like, I was dazed, and that's when I kind of came out of my blackout, and I didn't know what was going on. I wandered outside, and I was like, I think I just got my ass kicked.
I think that was Tom Cruise.
Because I was missing half my tooth. I didn't know where my glasses were, and my ribs really hurt. And then thankfully, I was a regular at Hound Dogs and Rivari Room. One of the workers found my glasses and gave them to me because as the guy punched me, my glasses went flying, and so they didn't get damaged in the scuffle. I remember the next few weeks having broken ribs and having to play a few shows. And I was a lead singer of a metal band, which requires a lot of screaming and is very difficult to do when your ribs are broke. So it was, that's the last time. I wasn't even in a fight. Because I didn't throw a fist or a punch or anything back. I just got the shit kicked out of me. And that's humbling.
It's like Alex Jones, where he doesn't want to go in the bathroom with anybody else.
Exactly. I now know how Alex Jones feels.
Bathroom. I am toilet king #1 in here.
I now know how Alex Jones feels because I just don't want to deal with it. I don't want to go into the bathroom anymore, and it's fine. Yeah. When's the last time you got into...
I'm the type of guy, even when there's guys in a big bathroom, I kind of like, well, I'll just wait till I get home. I don't like, I mean...
I'm with you now, Alex. After I remember that story, I ain't going into a bathroom with a bunch of guys in there. You don't know what's going to happen. Going to get into a fight. Lose my glasses again.
I like the ramming the door down. I really got to shit, man.
So if you had to guess what was going through your head to want to stop people from coming in, what would it have been? Were you on the verge of barfing, or what the hell's going on?
I might not be the most stable person, Joe, and especially when I drink, I get a little crazy in my head sometimes. And at that point in my life, I was I was going a little bonkers, and it's 2010, 2011. I'll see if I'll dig up the podcast because I probably did a podcast at the time, to talk about it. So I'll dig it up, and maybe my memory was a lot more clear back then. And because I do remember my roommate at the time, Scott, he came down to find me because he worked there, and the management called him and said, "Listen, your roommate is going crazy down here. You got to come do something about him because we don't want him arrested. We don't want him to cause any more trouble. And so come get him." But I had disappeared. What happened? I must have ordered a pizza, and then I walked 2 miles home to eat the pizza. Carrying the pizza the entire way home. And I was told later that my roommate came home and found me passed out, and he had to wake me up. He's like, "Mike, you got to get up. You can't go to bed because you probably got a concussion." And I probably did. I probably did have a concussion. And I was told by Dr. Scott, my roommate, that you shouldn't go to sleep if you have a concussion. That's bad.
I've heard that.
Yeah. I was tired, though. I was drunk, and I got done eating a full pizza probably, so I was all tuckered out.
That's how it goes. You get
a busy day.
You get shit hammered, and then you wake up in the morning, and you're like, "Oh my God!" There's food all over the counter, and you're like, "What the fuck did I do?
What did I do?"
Somebody broke in here.
I've done this where I'm digging through the trash to find what kind of empty bags I have of chips or some shit. What have I done?
That's how I feel. When I used to drink that much, it's "Oh, I can order an extra large pizza. I can take this down." And it's yeah, you can eat it, but should you? With extra cheese and pepperoni? Nah.
Just pickles, people. Put pickles in the fridge. Put a Post-it note on the door and say, "Don't eat a bunch of garbage, you fat drunk."
Mm-hmm.
Eat the pickles.
I will say this, it is humbling to get into that kind of scuffle. And I think it does give you life perspective about getting punched in the face repeatedly. And to know what that feels like. And you're not as quick to engage with people because you know what it feels like. And a lot of people starting fights, and they want to escalate really quickly over not getting mayonnaise on your Subway or anything like that.
Waiting for Mickey's Magical Theater.
Yeah, it's just crazy. Like it hurts. Getting in a fight hurts, and that hurt back in my early 30s. I can only imagine now what that kind of damage would do. So
yeah, life is delicate. Once you get older, and like I broke my neck, and you're just like, I'm not taking any chances anymore. That's why when I was like, we're hiking up a mountain in Iceland, I'm like holding the ground because I'm so mortified. I'm like, and the other thing is I saw some lady fall like fucking 40 feet, like boo, 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 boo. And I'm like, do you want me to call 911? She's like, I'm fine. Lady, look, like I thought you were going to die, you know? So I the older I've gotten, the less averse or the more averse I've gotten to taking physical risks.
Dude, I'm with you. Like if I saw that, like if I saw people like fall down a hill, I would just go. I would just leave at that point because I'm not sticking around and dealing with that. Especially if you had a broken neck like you, and it's like, why push yourself like that? Like it. I get it. You want to challenge yourself, and you want to have fun, and you want to see these amazing sights. You're only in Iceland maybe once in your life. Yeah. And so I get wanting to do that, but at a certain point in time, it's like I want to get back home in one piece, and no, thank you.
It was one of the most exhilarating and rewarding things ever because you had to go up and then cross a river, which meant you had to walk through the river, which we didn't know, and then go to the other side because you want to see the whole side. And we thought it was hard going up the side we went. The side coming down was the harder side, and the side going up, I saw kids on there, and that's where that lady was like, "Aah!" And she was making all these crazy noises. The last thing I did that I felt like was so physically dangerous is I went to a theme park in Monterrey, Mexico. And could you imagine? Some of these roller coasters are fucking insane. Like one of the roller coasters there, I can't remember the name of it. It was nuts. And I'm like, I don't know how, intricate they are. About
was it called the throw up machine? Because that's what a lot of those little carnival rides are called.
It's called the Macho Chacho.
Hop on and guaranteed you're going to puke all over your passenger next to you.
Yeah. I've never thrown up on I've never thrown up on a ride. Although I do remember when I went to Cedar Point one time with the friends I was getting high with and doing acid with and shit. And you remember the Mantis?
Oh yeah.
The standing up one?
Yeah.
Well, so for whatever reason, it was one of these days where there was like nobody there. And we were just getting on, getting off, getting on, getting off. Like you could just go right over and over again without even waiting. So we were just doing that. And ultimately my friend was heaving.
Yeah. I mean, back when you're like in your early 20s, maybe even mid 20s, you can do that. But I noticed, like, even the most recently when I went to Universal Theater, some of those roller coasters, they really jostle you around, and it felt like I had whiplash at the end of the day, to where my body just can't sustain that kind of that turbulence over and over again. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I think I'm past my prime on enjoying roller coasters.
Wasn't it Mean Streak? Was it that one? Was the wood one?
The wood one, yeah.
That's one was awful. If you want a fucking headache, you'd ride that one.
It's crazy.
I'd rather go to Falcon was awesome though.
I'd rather go to the Magic Kingdom and get into a fight.
Yes.
Just start fights.
In fact, I paid $100 just to start punching people from behind.
Whipping at them with my chunkless.
Anyway, that got us on
that raises a good point. So I know when you go to parks like Disney, Universal, whatever, you pay a huge fee to get in, and then you go stand in line all day.
Yep.
So what if you agree to pay a lesser charge to get in? You can't ride any rides, but you can start fights.
Kind of like you get like 1 or 2 get out of jail free cards. So you get like 1 or 2 cheap shots, and after that, like if we catch you, we're throwing you out.
Security has a little punch card. It's like, that's 3. Get out.
I like punch card. You got to like you can only have 5 punches, and then you take your whole punch. Boom, that's 1 punch.
It's called Fight Club. It's like, hey, come on down the Fight Club, the theme park where you can just punch people. It would be
Mike,
interesting.
they have to be there with their families.
Yes, you got to bring kids.
You want to get cheap shots on people who are not expecting it.
Want to punch that kid over there.
He's been asking for it.
No, that's the great thing about the modern day theme parks is that it separates the people with a little bit of money from the peons, because if you have a little bit of money, you can pay for the fast pass. So you're not standing in line for 2 hours. You stand in line for 20, maybe 30 minutes at most. And that's what we opted for. So we splurged for one day at Universal to use the fast pass. And we were just cutting past people, riding the Harry Potter rides. They were my favorite rides, was the Harry Potter ones. They were the most well-constructed and the most interesting. And just zip through the lines, and hey, it was worth it. I enjoyed that. Standing in line for 3 hours, then, because you can't get out of line to go to the bathroom. And so you just wind up holding it for 3 hours. Then you get on the ride, and you're trying to hold your piss in and trying to enjoy the ride. I can't do two things at once. I can either hold my piss in or enjoy the ride. I can't do both. So I wind up just.
So you opted to enjoy the ride.
Yeah, I know. I opt to hold my piss in and grit and bear it.
You have a Costco membership or Sam's Club?
No. Why do you ask?
Is that where you go to start fights?
Well, no. I mean, they have really, really good deals on adult diapers.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
You can wait in all the lines.
I guess so. Just keep going.
You were going to say you go to the Costco's on Sunday afternoons when it's really busy. You just start wailing on people.
Yeah, you wail on people at the sample counters. You go like, mine.
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about standing in line and just like urinating myself in front of a family from South Dakota.
As long as you don't break eye contact, you want to maintain dominance.
Every time.
Drove 2,000 miles to stand in line at Mickey's theme park just to
watch you piss.
Stand next to a guy from Ohio who smells like urine.
It's just like methed out guy from Ohio over here, just drunk off his ass, blocking doors to restrooms and pissing himself.
In the chat, yeah, I am going through a storm right now, personally and weather-wise. So yeah, if there's intermittent connection issues, yeah, it's because there is a storm going on outside, and the full episode will be uploaded later to Odyssey for video podcast, and then the audio will be uploaded 15 minutes when the podcast is done. So yeah, I'm having various issues with streaming right now. So sorry, people.
Well, let's move on to the next story, because I think this is 100% appropriate for regular listeners.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Yep. I'll bring this up on screen. Man who hasn't stopped farting after eating ham roll 5 years ago sues for $200,000.
That's good news.
That sounds, by the way, hello.
What's that?
Get it straight.
What did I say?
You said dollars.
Oh, it's 200,000 pounds. Yeah, you're right. 200,000 pounds. So that translates what to 300,000 US?
Lord knows. I have no idea.
It's about 30%. I'll look it up.
That's a lot of money. A man whose life has changed, plagued by relentless farts since eating a ham roll, is suing the stall that sold it to him for $200,000.
Oh, really?
The man from Chippenham was visiting.
Really? His name is Chippingham?
No, he's from Chippenham.
Chippendale?
He's from Chippenham, and he ate ham roll. So he was visiting for Christmas, a Christmas market in Birmingham with his wife and children back in 2017 when he picked up a snack. But within hours, things started to go south for the 46-year-old guy who was hit by cramps, fever, vomiting, and diarrhea, with his lawyer telling the high court that he was bedridden for the next 5 weeks. Did they say 5 years? He said, yeah, 5 years ago it happened, but he was had horrific farts for 5 weeks. His ordeal was far from over, though. The lawyer, Robert Perkins, said his client was sick for months with excessive flatulence still blighting him 5 years on. The farts are apparently so bad that they are affecting his sleep.
Well played.
I wonder if this is causing turbulence in his marriage too. Parkinson,
I believe we refer to that as a Dutch oven.
yes, it is.
Turbulence in his pants. I have a Dutch oven. I bought it. I don't know how to use it though. Sorry. Let's get back to the farting.
Well, we'll talk more about your Dutch oven after the story. 'Cause I'm curious about that. The claimant continues to suffer from excessive flatulence, which causes him a great deal of embarrassment. The symptoms are primarily fatigue and altered bowel function associated with churning within his abdomen and flatulence. So there's a lot of things that are going on there.
I have a constant sore throat, swollen glands, fevers. My muscles ache and are weak. I am totally exhausted all the time.
Add on excessive flatulence to that list. Unfortunately,
So they said he has fatigue. That means he farts so much he gets tired.
he burns calories every time he farts.
I find something very satisfying about farting, like shitting. Like, I don't know, man. This could be a benefit. I don't know why this guy's so down on it.
Well, he says the stomach churning is really making him lose sleep, which his sleep pattern is disrupted. The extent of the symptoms have been life-changing. The unfortunate farter claims he contracted salmonella from the market operator, and that the Frankfurt Christmas market should pay him more than 200,000 pounds in compensation for its negligence. However, the company denies blame and claims there was no salmonella bacteria in the ham hock stall. So how do you prove this?
Yeah.
Like, the evidence is gone, and it's like 5 years ago.
Yeah. What if he found a piece of Snickers on the ground and that was it?
Yeah, maybe. But the lawyer claimed a total of 16 people in 3 groups complained of similar symptoms after eating at the place. So, okay, there might be other evidence. Following an investigation by the Public Health of England, 2 cases of salmonella were confirmed as originating at the stall, the market, between December 9th and 11th of December in 2017. So E. coli bacteria was found on a knife used to cut cooked meat, and an unsatisfactory level of interbacterial I can't pronounce the interbacterial.
Thrombocytopenia?
They found that on a knife. The family of bacteria containing both E. coli and salmonella. So it sounds like this guy's got a claim. The company is defending.
But why did he wait 5 years, though?
When did he file suit? Yeah. This is a long article about this.
It's very important.
I like this.
It's an in-depth reporting.
The allegation, let's see. So whilst the claimant contends his primary injury to the alleged salmonella, no salmonella bacteria were isolated at the ham hock BAP stall. So according to causation, that still remains to be seen in this case. The case went before the judge in the high court last week for hearing to plan for a future trial of the claim. So this is ongoing. I'm sure we'll do a follow-up story to figure out what's going on. And I'd love to interview this guy and see how often he has flatulence, the power, the volume, and the density.
We need to get him 2 microphones.
Exactly. One for his mouth and one for his ass. And I want it in stereo.
Mm-hmm.
Pan him to the right, his ass to the left, so we know who's talking.
I wonder if we could we offer to interview only his ass?
Yes. Can you speak through your ass, please?
We don't want to talk to you. We want to talk to your ass.
All right. Enough booty talk.
Well, I was just going to say one more thing on this. This is a very in-depth article. They spent more time determining the origins of this guy's malady than they did trying to track down where COVID came from.
Yeah. You're right. And there's a deeper investigation going on right here, and there's it looks like health department officials involved going out there doing testing, trying to be transparent with the investigation. because they want to get to the bottom of this, so other people don't become affected by this. Not so with COVID. They don't care. It's just out there.
COVID.
All right. Well, I like that story. It's very interesting.
Well, let's get. It wouldn't be a segment from me if we didn't do some current events or geopolitical thing.
Thank you.
So let's do this next one. It's a Twitter link.
Okay, I like Twitter.
Do you?
No.
Wrong.
Dude, I think I'm about to delete Instagram other than the posts we make on like for my own personal. It's basically like flicking the channel and it's a commercial on every one.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's like so many ads. Because you liked this post, I'll show you some bullshit that's just like it that you have no interest in, but you follow this other account that you do. It's so crazy. Like it's just ad after ad. I remember when they started doing this shit and it would be like every 5 posts would be an ad. Then it becomes every 2 posts becomes an ad. Now I don't think I see any of the people I follow. I mean, literally, I'm like, it's totally unrecognizable.
Same for Twitter for me. So I get on Twitter and I look at a lot of UFO stuff. I follow a lot of UFO people and then a lot of people that are podcasters like Charlie from Macroaggressions, Sam Tripoli, and some other notable podcasters, Ricky and Behind the Schemes. I just started following them, even though I don't do much. But Twitter is now recommending me nothing like a lot of DNC people running for Congress, people that are outspoken Democrats, and I'm not following any one of them. And they keep pushing their tweets to me for some reason. And I don't engage in anything political on Twitter. I mostly will respond back to people. I will reply back to UFO threads. I don't talk about anything political on there. So why are they recommending me these DNC people and filled also with a lot of ads? A lot of ads. It's BS.
The other thing that I find, I mean, I don't know if I mentioned on the show before, but this has been happening more and more often. I will search something benign that is work related on the computer I use for work. Their computer, not my computer. I open up my phone. All of the things I looked for on my work computer, ads start to be served for me.
Mm-hmm.
How in the world are they doing this?
These computers, I tell you, they just get crazier and crazier.
So they got a profile
signed into Google or something.
No, I don't sign into any. Like I decided as soon as I joined this company, I am not going to put any of my personal shit on that computer at all. I'm not going to sign into Gmail. I'm not going to go to my bank. I'm not going to do any of this.
They must do it through Wi-Fi. They must do it to recognize where your connection is coming from. So they identify that you're using 2 different computers, probably from the same IP address or a very similar IP address range. And they're saying, this is the same person, and we can hear him through his microphone on both devices, and that's it. They made a correlation, and they linked you together in their database.
Yeah,
Same thing happens to me.
Well, there was a story on that a couple years ago. It was Google and was it Comcast or somebody who was doing exactly that? They were just saying, if you're on one device in your household, we're just going to send the same ads to anything coming from that IP address.
Yeah, they got us. Like they have these. They got us no matter what, unless you remove all devices from your network, like that have microphones and track you and go to like a dumb phone, like one of those graphene phones. They have databases on everyone. And then even if you're not on there, they kind of know about you if you visit with friends who do have those devices. And then they make a shadow profile for you as basically a placeholder for you for when you do go online and they recognize you, they'll feed your ads that way.
I was wondering about this morning because lately I've been trying to like walk the dog without the phone, without any headphones, with no interruptions whatsoever. Because I find it interesting to how detached we've become from nature. Like I listen to the birds, and the birds here are very, very different than the birds probably in Ohio, and the sounds that are coming out of them. It's just like putting yourself in that kind of space has been, I mean, we don't do it enough. I don't do it enough, that's for sure. But I was wondering, I'm sure your wife doesn't listen to anything. When you're milking the chickens, are you listening to podcasts?
Yeah, I have a horrible habit of always being tuned into something. And I have started, although very rarely, walk my dog without listening to stuff. But I would say 80% of the time I'm either listening to a podcast, an old radio segment, or something like that. Like, yeah, I'm always plugged in, and it's probably not good. I think your way is probably a much more healthy way to decompress, not overstress your ears and tire out your ears so much, and also just to unplug yourself from the matrix.
Yeah, it's like a anti-fog machine in your head. It really is, like, because I was like this, especially, I was doing the show in Austin before I moved there. You remember, I brought the gear. And I remember I would go to the hotel. I'd come off the plane. I was constantly listening to something. I brought my speaker. I have a little Bluetooth speaker. It was like I'd take a shower. I'd keep just constant. And I think back on those days and I'm like, you should have kept that to a minimum. Like, you were in a new city. You were experiencing new things. You didn't look around at all. You were checking Instagram the same way. I'm just glad. Maybe it's a good thing Instagram became a turd, because it makes me go, I don't even want to look at the phone anymore.
Yeah, I mean, for anymore, I mostly will, on my phone, I'll check the Discord just to see if there's any questions or any funny things going on there. I will check some messages on Twitter. I don't endlessly scroll, besides like on Reddit conspiracy, to look for some news. But honestly, YouTube is the place I go for 70% of my audio consumption. But when I walk my dog, I'm listening to old Howard Stern segments. I have an archived just library of old Howard Stern, Opie and Anthony. So I listen to stuff from years ago, and I don't bombard myself with current media. I go back in time.
This is pre-soy boy, cuck bitch Howard Stern.
Yeah, I listen. Yeah, so I got a whole library of curated stuff that I have that I can listen to anywhere. So.
All right, last thing, and this will tie back to something I brought up probably a few months ago. I don't know, maybe half a year ago.
Okay, let's look at this. This is to all the people. This is on Twitter right here. To all the people who laughed off the worrywarts years ago for freaking out about the funny dancing robot dog, should be forced to watch this video once a day for the remainder of the year. And this is a video of a robot dog. I'm going to play the audio because it's very concerning.
People remember the Boston Dynamics robot.
Oh, is this the tippy tapping Boston Dynamics thing?
Maybe.
So this dog it's a smaller dog, but it's got like
an automatic weapon.
An automatic weapon, like strapped to its back, glued to its back, or duct taped down.
It's a little bit of Elmer's.
A little bit of cement, rubber cement, and it is just firing at targets. And the recoil, you can see that it doesn't have good recoil compensation on this robot dog yet, but on single shot, it's pretty accurate. On fully automatic, it is recoiling back, but it is pretty goddamn scary what we're looking at here.
As soon as we saw those, I think we said it on our show, or your show, Mike.
It's our show.
It's our show. We're a team. But as soon as we saw these things, we were like, they're going to put guns on those.
Oh, yeah. It reminds us so much of Fahrenheit 451 with the robot dogs in that movie. Or not that movie, but that book. At least in that book, they're not having guns strapped to them, but they're pretty malicious.
Well, and I remember when we were talking about it when it first came up, and Jesus Christ, was this 2012 or something like that? It may have been before 2010 when they were rolling these little bastards out. And we were saying, like, they're going to put guns on them. And I think this is when you were talking about they're going to federalize the police.
Yeah.
Well, I think that the police and the sheriffs and the people who still believe that, there is some sort of federalism, there's some sort of autonomy, states' rights, etc. Like, there will come a point, like you look at this with the Dutch farmers and so forth. People like firefighters and the yellow vests in France, like people were separating themselves from the state employer and saying, I'm going to join this protest because I believe it. So that's what these motherfucking dogs are for. This is why they're taking all the guns in Canada. This is why they're pushing so hard to get the guns here. It's because they know that there are too many people who can resist. And so they're going to need these little fuckers who have shitty recoil. They'll figure that out. They'll put some bigger, stronger legs in the back of these bastards.
Well,
and go ahead. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, all it needs to do, they just update the algorithm to just have it lean forward as it starts firing.
Yeah, you can tell they're like in a test phase here. We don't know how autonomous they are. It doesn't really show that in here.
It's like somebody who shot a shotgun for the first time and didn't know what it would do, like falling right on their ass.
Well, they probably, I would assume, have some sort of machine learning algorithm in here. As it shoots more, it will learn how to compensate for the recoil until it is just a death machine.
Sit, Ubu, sit.
Do we know where this video came from? I'm curious, because obviously it's a couple of months old based on the snow cover on the ground. They're using an AK variant, so it's not a U.S. company, and there's a British Scout car or a Daimler or whatever the hell they are, APC in the background there. So it's not in the U.S. I'm curious where this is coming from.
Well, Boston Dynamics.
So
shoe them.
If you remember, we talked about.
You're right, Mike. Boston Dynamics is a bunch of commies, so
sue them.
It's
Sue.
their backyard.
I think they were bought by Google, weren't they?
God.
Probably. Yeah, I think you're right. You're right, Joe.
Now they're going to find you based on advertisements, Joe. They'll come to your house.
There you go. Yeah. But if you remember, we were talking about Battlefield 2042, and it was right around the time where the truckers' protest was happening. And I brought up the fact that, and we even played a clip of these autonomous trucks, because they have these autonomous vehicles, and Battlefield 2042 is set in the future. If you get all the guns and take those away, like if your only resistance is tractors and trucks and so forth, it's like, well, let's just get rid of the farmers. Let's just get rid of the truckers, and make it all autonomous. Like what I see, and it's all about Russia and everything else. It's all about climate too. You brought up climate earlier. And it's all about climate. Like there's always some kind of weather event happening on level to level. And it's like this predictive programming sort of deal. And you can summon, you hit the top button on PlayStation, you hit the top two buttons, and you can bring down one of these robot dogs, and they follow you around and they like shoot shit. And, it's like this kind of stuff. It's like you could almost see like, yeah, that probably we're funneling that direction.
It's crazy. Like these robots are going to be taken over. They're going to force humans to go out and look for wind opportunities to combat climate change, while the robot dogs are policing us. I don't want to look for wind opportunities.
What the hell's a wind opportunity?
What Biden wants us to look for with his climate emergency mandate. He's going to spend money to look for wind opportunities.
Yeah.
Just hire that English guy. Keep farting.
Yeah, that's a wind opportunity right there.
Give him a jetpack, fart into all the windmills.
Just here, dude. We're gonna put you up 100 feet in the air. Fart into this windmill. We're gonna dangle you. We're gonna dangle you from a rope.
If you get too high in altitude, ask the astronauts for help with propulsion in space.
Yeah, they'll get you down.
Put the ass in astronaut.
I have to do it.
Yeah.
Before we move on to Cretch's segment, you guys want to take one or two phone calls?
Oh, we didn't do it Wednesday. We might as well.
All right. 614-388-9109, or we will take a Skype call. You just Skype in directly, ourbigdumbmouth, one word, and we'll talk to you. Hopefully it has a better connection. We don't know. Skype's a great technology, but we just don't know how it functions sometimes.
Skype's an incredible technology, but occasionally it gives us a problem.
You could just fart right into the phone if that's all you want.
Yes, please. Oh, we have a caller right here. Caller.
Yo, what's up?
Yo.
No better connection.
Who are we talking to?
This is Booberry.
Hey, Booberry.
Yeah, one of these days my servers are going to free up. I'm going to stop doing all this crazy work, and then I'll be able to call you all through the Skype again.
That'd be fantastic. We look forward to that.
Me too, man. There's been something on my mind for almost a month since y'all talked about it. I keep trying to bring it up. I always forget. Have you ever seen the Johnny Rotten interviews where he's talking about Jimmy Savile?
Yes.
I probably have, but I do not remember it. Joe obviously does.
I've heard them. I haven't
It's
seen
really
them.
good. It's pretty short. It's only like 2 minutes, but the interviewer is basically like, "Oh, who would you like to kill?" And Johnny Rotten goes, "Oh, I'd like to kill Jimmy Savile. I've heard he's into a lot of wretched things."
And this was what, like 15? This was like 30 years ago or some shit.
It was like in the early 90s, yeah.
Yeah, it was 80s, 80s. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, it was 1978. It goes back even that farther.
Jesus Christ. He was
Holy
in the
moly.
know.
Wow.
Yeah. Johnny Rotten, man. He's pretty outspoken dude.
Yeah, he's not going to shy away from that kind of stuff. He's all about that.
Yeah. So I just wanted to throw that out there. Also, Twitter, I know, is just messing with me. They always send me emails. They're like, "Oh, you got to check out the tweets from this person." And it's one of two people all the time. And I know that it's these two people to specifically trigger me. One of them is tweets from Tim Pool. I'm not a big Tim Pool guy.
Oh, my God, dude. Same here.
You don't like Tim Pool?
Yeah.
Does he
No!
trigger you?
It's irritating. He reads a headline and reads an article, but before you do, it's like, dude, it's all you need to listen to is the first 30 seconds and it's over.
That is true.
Yeah, and I think he falls under the misfortune of just making the same argument, and there's nothing to glean from it. Like, there's nothing I'm ever going to glean. I feel like from listening.
Well, we're not going to make it on that.
We got Chicken City.
Unlike OBDM, No Agenda, Bowl After Bowl.
I think that he's
with the weed laws and stuff. Weed legalization. But the other individual, he's actually he's the father of a friend of mine that I worked with doing shows, and he's running for a Senate seat in Ohio as a Democrat. And that was easy bait for me to be like, "Oh, here, come freak out about this guy." And by freak out, I mean just open up the Twitter app, check out his posts, shake my head, and then put it away. Very, very limited engagement with Twitter.
Sure, whatever.
It's just not fun. You can't find anything.
Yeah, Twitter is it's a mind control mechanism. It's an echo chamber, and it really is unfortunate how much importance the media has placed on it and our culture. Like, Twitter does seem to lead the charge on a lot of policy, culturally and politically, and that's why it's so important. And that's why there is so much hubbub over Elon Musk trying to buy it, and now that's obviously in flux. So by default, Twitter's important because it's important to pop culture and politics. You understand that? Huh?
You understand?
You understand that?
You understand me?
Then the last thing, I'm out of here. I told Adam Curry and Dave Jones on Podcasting 2.0 about that multiple sound effects for the Boostergram stuff, and Adam seemed into it. I think if he wasn't just blustering, it could always be a chance, but he sounded like he wants to set up a stream where it's just people playing sound effects of his on a 24-hour loop.
Yeah, I could see him doing that.
Just tune. That would be kind of.
Yeah, I could see Adam.
I've seen.
Yeah.
Remember, Mike?
There's another shit.
We were just talking about doing like a Twitter, but with sound effects.
Yeah, we did. In your app idea, and I think there's something there. So yeah, I think people like that idea.
Voice memos. You do voice memos or music bits or whatever.
Well, there is a show called Hog Story. They're live every Monday night, and they used to. It might have been a while since they've done it now. But Carolyn, one of the hosts, would make up tracks, and then she would load them up to play in sequential order. And then Fletcher, the other host, he would put all of his ISOs, and he's got a very large selection. But he would put his ISOs into a randomizer, so it was just this music with random clips played back to back to back to back over top of it. Very interesting the way it sort of unintentionally lines up like two, turn blinkers for cars sitting in traffic.
Yeah.
If you know what I'm talking about.
Sure.
But yeah. Other than that, thanks for letting me call in. Love you guys.
Thanks, Boo Berry.
Let me know.
Ooh, boring.
All right. Well, there he goes. Some good ideas. People like the sound effects. People like, I think random sound effects can have its place, but it can be a little bit too much at a time. It can get pretty chaotic. When I was on Boo Berry's show, as people were donating, there would be random sound effects playing, and it can be very distracting because it's not controlled by anyone on the show to find an opportunity for it. It's controlled by the listener, which is an interesting idea, but it can't, like, once you have like 1,000 people listening and then 1,000 people donating, it'll be funny for the first 30 seconds, but you won't be able to get to any more content. Won't be able to do anything else. So
just the 100 people or so we have listening live right now would ruin it. Yeah.
They would do it, and it would, like I said, it would be funny for a little bit. It'd be funny to try to do a show like that, but you can't do every show like that. It would or
just raise the threshold for donations on that. So you can donate $100. You do whatever you want.
Yeah. I get it. Yeah, there's some fun to be had there. One last phone call right here. Caller, you are on the air.
Hello. How's it going, guys?
We're doing well. Hello. Who are we talking to?
It's Alex in Calgary.
Alex in Calgary. Wow. You sound great.
Thank you.
Hey, how many vaccines have you had today?
7.
Oh, okay.
They come free with use phones in the concentration camps.
2? Yeah, no, it's getting pretty crazy here. Like we just had the Stampede here, finished just last weekend, and
Stampede. What does that mean?
The Calgary Stampede, man.
I don't know what it is.
It's like a big rodeo and a fair and a lot of stuff going on. It's a country western event.
Oh, okay.
One of the largest events in the world. It's on for 10 days, and like over 1 million people come to the city from the States and everywhere. But they're even trying to. So they've attacked the farmers here with the beef, with about the emissions bullshit from cow farts, and then they've recently started going at the farmers now for the fertilizer. So they all got to cut down their fertilizer use by 30%, just like what's happening in Europe, in Holland and Germany and all of that kind of stuff. But the one thing, what I have noticed is, so I work in industrial and commercial construction, and for the last few years, we have been building is these huge automated tower freezers, all food storage, pretty much all fridges and freezers, very little warehousing for office space and commercial stuff like that. It's pretty much all food storage, which is very strange. And I think it was in 2017 we built our first bug plant here in Calgary. Was I think it was crickets. That was another thing at the Stampede. They were selling hot dogs with mealworms and crickets.
Oh God.
Yeah, it's pretty disgusting. And then we just, I think my company has built 4 of these bug plants around the country so far. And back in 2017, when we were first building that one, it stunk. It was fucking horrible. And
of course,
it was. We were all told that the Queen was involved with it, and I thought that was strange because we were told it was for human consumption in the future. And as well, a lot of the food manufacturers here, we've built extensions and we built them new plants. That's all for the fake meat bullshit that they're trying to push on us.
You know who likes to eat bugs? Lizards.
Nicole Kidman.
Yeah,
we just said lizards.
Lizards are. It feels like this Earth is being terraformed to be populated by the lizard people.
I wouldn't be surprised, because if they're trying to fuck with our climate and everything, if that's what they're trying to do, block out our sun and make it more
lizard friendly.
No, lizards like the heat.
They do like the heat. You do. So maybe everything they're doing right now to terraform the planet is actually to increase the heat, so it's much sunnier for the lizard invasion. So they're saying everything they're doing is to reduce it. Yeah. So they want to trap the heat and have some sun. So everything they're doing is to actually reverse what they say they're going to do.
It's the perfect guys.
It is.
Yeah.
And then they'll have using our tax money. They're building all these bug processing plants so the lizard people come in and they have their food supply already taken care of.
Yeah, 100%. Because I can't get over how much we've built. Like even like Alberta beef here is known throughout North America. Like we sell most of our beef to California, and they're trying to cut all that down. Everything they're doing is destroying Alberta, our oil and gas industry, and our beef now. And then all of the shortages of the natural gas in Europe. Like Canada's supposed to be one of the cleanest producers of natural gas, and our government has blocked everything for us. All of our exploration, even in my company, like we used to do a lot of oil and gas work for new construction, and it's all been basically shut down for the last 4 or 5 years. We haven't done anything. My company is one of the biggest companies in Canada that does a lot of this kind of work.
As I said, this is the Viking funeral. They are putting us on the boat, and they're going to fire an arrow into us. And then Bill Gates and his farmland and his seed vault and everything else for those, plebs that make it, will be eating bugs while they do whatever the fuck they want, like drink children's blood and all the other things they do. That.
Yeah, it's so fucked up, man.
It is crazy what's going down, man. Well, hey, thank you for all the information you got up there in Calgary. I like it when people in other countries check in, because we're so United States focused on this podcast that it's easy for us to lose focus that there are other countries out there that matter.
Maybe.
Yeah, and I have one more thing for you guys, one short thing. So I'm from Ireland originally, but my sister sent me a clip from... That was a terrible accent. But
hey, Scotch eggs? Do you do those in Ireland?
No, we're Irish, not Scottish.
I know, but like the food has to be somewhat related.
Yeah, I agree with Joe there. You guys are so close.
Really. Not really. Like our breakfast, like with the bean sausages and all that kind of stuff, it's similar, but we all use different spices. But that's probably the closest thing food wise.
What about haggis? Is that shared?
No, that's only Scotland. They're the only animals who eat that shit.
Nice.
What about heroin? Which one's the bigger one? So I know Train Spotting, that was Scotland.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, pretty much that's widespread amongst Ireland and the UK. So,
okay.
Like in Dublin now, I know that a lot of the bathrooms and the bars and stuff, they have UV lights in there, so you can't see your veins if you want to shoot up.
Wow, that's an interesting little trick, though.
Yeah.
Huh. But all right, I'm sorry, we cut you off. What was the last thing you wanted to say?
It was on the radio on the state broadcaster the other day, and they had an expert on who was saying that for the new social norms, that there'll only be one short-haul flight every 3 years and one long-haul flight every 8 years.
What does that mean?
So probably within Europe, you get one flight every 3 years, and long-haul could be fucking transatlantic or whatever.
Wait, as a person, you can only take one flight every 3 years in order to combat climate change? Like, so you can take one vacation every 3 years?
Correct, but all private jets are exempt from that.
Of course they are. Of course, they got to travel around the world and eat their bugs, the inspected bug facilities on their lizard jets.
And how are they going to bank kids on like the next Epstein plane?
Yeah. Well, that this is the way it's going, and that the Great Reset is for everyone else. We'll all be eating bugs, selling cat food to one another while they're flying around, fighting at Disney World when we're not allowed to go there and fight. And that's all we want to do.
Yep.
Well, hey, thank you, buddy. What's your name again?
Alex.
Alex. Hey, thank you. Alex from Calgary. Really appreciate you calling in, man. Take care.
No problem. Love the show, guys. Thanks.
There we go. We're gonna move on. Sorry, guys. Got to cut down Skype. We have we have to get to Cretchid and all of his news. All right.
So I have some things in Carrot Shop from a few minutes ago. We were talking about Jimmy Savile. I found those original clips if you want. They're only about 2 minutes.
Oh, John Lydon from 1978.
So there's two links in there. The first link is him talking with, I think, Piers Morgan about the actual interview. And then the second link is the actual audio from the interview.
Which do you think is better?
Well, I mean,
Piers?
One is just...
We can do the Piers Morgan one, I guess. That might be more relevant.
Right, either way.
Yeah. Kind of curious.
I want to completely turn left field here. An unbroadcast section of a BBC radio interview you did in 1978 recently came to light. included on a pill album. And you were talking about making a film where you kill famous people. Now, it's never been played on television before, but it has a particular relevance. Let's listen to this.
So who else is on the goner list?
Oh, it's endless, believe me. I just want to make a film of it. On film, I'd like to kill Jimmy Savile. I think he's a hypocrite.
Weren't I right?
I bet he's into all kinds of seediness that we all know about, but are not allowed to talk about. I know some rumours. I bet none of this will be allowed out.
I should imagine libelous stuff will be allowed out.
Nothing I said is liable.
Sounds a bit harsh, doing death list there.
Well, but actually,
sometimes you're contentious in life just because you're bored of that. But
put aside the rhetoric you were using. The fact that in 1978, at the height of the Sex Pistols explosion, there you are saying about Jimmy Savile, he was into all kinds of seediness that we all knew about. We weren't allowed to talk about it. I know some rumours. So you had heard the kind of thing that we now know about him, or stuff like that?
Yeah. I think most kids did too. Most kids wanted to go to the top of the pops, but we all knew what that cigar muncher was up to. So I'm very, very bitter that the likes of Savile and the rest of them were allowed to continue.
Did you ever try and do anything about Savile?
I did my bit. I said what I had to.
Did they air that? No. It just got suppressed for legal reasons.
Yeah. And
did you meet?
I found myself being banned from BBC Radio there for quite a while for my contentious behaviour.
Because of that?
But they wouldn't state this directly. There'd be other excuses.
I mean, it's shocking.
Oh, yeah.
He got away with it for another 30-odd years.
Well, not only him, a whole bunch of them. And these are the purveyors of good taste, huh?
You were too offensive.
Brilliant, isn't it? Well, I'm still here, and the rest of them, what are still alive, nice bit of jail time for them. Jail time!
Now there's John Rodden. Okay.
Anyway, I just thought that was, I mean, that's even the thing with Piers Morgan, I think is from 2015 or something, but it is interesting that people were bringing this up, and he even brought it up on BBC Radio when they wouldn't have it. So
yeah, 1978. Carried on for another few decades. Fascinating. Sad. Way it goes.
Kind of sickening too. Yeah. And then, which always makes you wonder when you hear about these things, how long have other things been going on?
Well, and not only that, you think about which one of the Prince fuckers?
Prince Andrew.
Andrew, yeah.
Andy.
He doesn't sweat.
Oh, yeah, he doesn't. Well, so we know about that, right? And it's like, I don't know, like the Queen is knighting Jimmy Savile.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
They're
it's
drunk
like
on our children's blood, for God's sake.
You've got Uma Abedin and all these, like Hillary, all these people are so connected to pedophiles. Everybody's got a pedophile friend but me. I need a pedophile friend.
If you want to be in the in crowd, Joe, that's correct. If you want to move up the chain of entertainment to be accepted by Hollywood, I think that that's correct. Hollywood hates us.
They
Joe.
need like a Bumble or something like that for pedophiles.
Okay. Well, hey, there's something there. I'm sure iTunes would be all on board, and so would Google.
Jesus.
What else do you got for us, Cretched? Any other cheery stories?
I got some more cheery ones. I just want to bring it up because we discussed it. So
yeah, it makes sense.
So here's this one. Let's start with this one. Let's talk about some nonsense.
Good. I like a lot of nonsense. Here we go. Bring this up on screen. Here we go. The Testicle Festival returns to Watsonville.
Oh, really?
The Testicle Festival. I didn't know about this festival.
Well, it's back.
It's back in a big way. In August, the 14th annual Testicle Festival will return to Watsonville. The festival put on by Young Farmers and Ranchers Committee of Santa Cruz County will will be help. I don't know what that means. Will be
help. That's a typo. Will be helped.
Yeah. No, this is what they wrote. Will be help.
High quality journalism here.
Will be help on August 27th. The event will take place from 3 to 7 p.m. at the Estrada Deer Camp. Let's see here. So they'll be serving Rocky Mountain oysters, and dinners will be chicken with salad and bread and dessert. So that's some really good stuff that people can eat. Rocky Mountain oysters. You ever had one of those, Joe?
Am I on mute?
No,
I'm not. I think I have.
I don't know if I ever have.
Lucy's Fried Chicken had, I think they had something like that. It was like goat balls or some shit.
Yeah, I think so. Well, if you want to attend, tickets are $60 for adults and $30 for children.
I need money.
Holy shit! You got to pay money to get in there to eat Rocky Mountain oysters.
How many families are going there for their vacation starting fights?
A ton going in there. I need some balls.
Now there's a man who knows when he's got something good in his mouth.
For more information, you can visit their website, the agriculture.us, or purchase tickets and sponsorships at the www.everbright.com. Search for Testicle Festival, and you will find the Watsonville event. So there you go, people.
So I put the link right below that, Carrot Chop, of the actual event website. They have more details on the menus and all sorts of fun stuff they've got.
I wonder if who's going to be speaking there at the Testicle Festival. I wonder if David Pilatus is going to be there to talk about Missing 411
for no reason
at the Testicle Festival. Maybe
Klaus Schwab is going to announce a new Great Reset policy.
I like that. Eat bugs and balls in the future.
Yeah. Cut your balls off, eat them, and go eat some bugs.
Yeah, why not? Well, there you go.
The new surf and turf, bugs and balls.
bugs and balls. Yeah, I like it. Let's see. Yeah, Saturday.
You may want to read there about
Saturday,
the cow pie bingo.
Oh yeah, cow pie bingo, $50 a square. Experience the sweet smell of success. The cows will be turned loose in a fenced area, which will be marked off into 64 squares. So if a cow takes a crap or a dump on your square, you can win at cow pie bingo. Yes. There we go. Winners receive 50% of the sales. Kids and adults will both love this fun event, Cow Pie Bingo. Yes, it's a fundraiser, and you can get involved today.
I'm not sure if that's a guess or a command that kids and adults will both love this. You will love this event.
You're going to get involved, and you're going to like it. All right.
You'll earn nothing and be happy. You will watch Cow Pie Bingo on Saturdays and be happy.
Yeah, and sit around and watch cows take a crap. That's a fun event. I'm going to pay $60 to get into an event, and then I'm going to pay an additional $50 to buy a square and hope that I watch a cow take a crap on my square while I eat testicles.
That's what it says on the shirt.
Yeah.
Men eating feces, drinking urine, and having sex in public.
That's a different festival, Alex.
Yeah, that's next week's festival.
You preempted this one for that one, but okay.
Let's see. I got one or two food ones we have to get to, but here, well, I'll tell you what. Let's do this one. Let's jump right to it.
Okay.
So a few months ago, we talked about this story. Well, a version of this story. If you recall, Walmart, I think it was Walmart or somebody was selling. No, it's Kroger. Kroger was selling macaroni and cheese flavored ice cream.
Oh, I remember.
And it's sold out immediately.
It was a limited quantity. It was a short run, small batch of mac and cheese ice cream. I remember I was all excited about it.
So the company, Van Leeuwen's, is the ice cream company who made that. Now look at what they're working on.
Now what we got here is this Grey Poupon ice cream needs more mustard.
Man, I got mixed emotions about this one.
Oh boy. I'm not a big mustard fan. I have never used Grey Poupon on anything. And
well, now you don't need to because you can eat it right out of the can.
Yeah, so here is something for all you mustard lovers. This is written like a blog, so here it goes. It took me a long time to love mustard. I grew up in a ketchup family and always preferred mayonnaise on my sandwiches. But in the past few years, a switch flipped. I started craving that vinegary condiment, become obsessed with the stone ground stuff, and would order anything on a menu with mustard seed. So when Van Leeuwen announced that it would be releasing a limited edition run of Grey Poupon ice cream, I went full sicko.
Skip down to the how does it taste?
How does it taste? Where is that at?
That's like 2 paragraphs down. I'm trying to skip past the blog nonsense because someone has to get their word count up.
So how's it taste? As described in the press release sent to the Takeout, the Grey Poupon, with salted pretzels is an unexpected yet delightful blend of sweet ice cream, honey Dijon swirl, and salted pretzels. It's part of Van Leeuwen's line of summer limited edition flavors, which also includes campfire s'mores, summer peach crisp, honey cornbread with strawberry jam, and espresso fior di latte chip. All of these flavors are available at Walmart until the end of the season, people.
That's good news.
So Grey Poupon is teaming up with Walmart for this limited edition run. Okay.
I don't understand the point of getting ice cream that tastes like mustard.
I remember this from like growing up in the 80s.
The finer things in life. Happily, some are affordable.
Yes.
Like Grey Poupon Dijon mustard.
Yes.
Grey Poupon is so fine, it's even made with white wine. Its original French Dijon recipe adds distinctive flavor to beef, pork, and poultry, salad dressing and sauces, and of course, sandwiches. So enjoy one of life's finer pleasures.
Pardon me, would you have any Grey Poupon? But of course.
Grey Poupon. It even has wine.
Fuck 'em.
All right, you got to run. So I just dropped a Grey Poupon link in the carrot shop. You have to run this one. 30 seconds.
Okay. I hate Grey Poupon, by the way, but okay, we'll run this one. Grey Poupon.
I'm a bit of a classic. I poop on my burger.
I poop on my potato salad.
I
poop on my kids' lunches.
I poop on.
I poop on my fingers. Grandma. I guess I poop on my husband's chest.
Grey Poupon. Poop on everything.
This is all. Was that a real commercial?
No, it's
There's
not.
no
It's
way.
parody.
No way.
It's a parody commercial.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. Okay, let's do one more, then we got to start winding down the show because I'm going to go see that new Jordan Peele movie, Nope. It's
That
about
looks interesting. I'll be curious to hear how it goes.
It's got UFOs and conspiracies, and Jordan Peele, I think he writes some good stuff, very interesting stuff. So we'll see.
Yeah, the trailers look interesting. All right, so I'll give you guys 2 choices. One is a story about when you go into Subway and you order a sandwich a certain way. This is so 7 Subway sandwiches workers will judge you for ordering. And then the other one is the story about how Costco is able to keep their hot dog at $1.50, and it's by the founder threatening to kill people.
I kind of like that one, the Costco one, because with rising prices of food, it's important to keep those prices low. So I'm kind of curious to see how they offset
And this
that.
one is especially prescient because it was written before the massive inflation caused by President Biden's fun time happy group over there.
Okay,
so it's even worse now, but they are still maintaining the $1.50. So this is from almost 2 years ago.
Yeah, it's from September 2020. So bring this up on screen. Costco founders once told the company's current CEO, if you raise the price of the effing hot dog, I will kill you.
That's some good news on that front.
Okay. All right. Well, that's some good news. So Costco has charged $1.50 for its hot dog and soda combo since 1985. And a quote from Costco founders Jim Sinegal explains why that is. When Costco's current CEO, Greg Chelnick, approached Seingol about raising the price of the combo. Seingol told him, "I will kill you if you raise the price." So Seingol figured out a solution: stop buying hot dogs from Hebrew nationals and build factories to make Kirkland signature hot dogs. Okay. In January, at a shareholders meeting, Jenkel said Costco had no plans to take that hot dog above $1.50. Visit Business Insider's homepage for more stories. So this is awesome.
Oh, really?
So yeah, instead of like buying wholesale Nathan's, which is it's a fine hot dog, they have their own eating competition on the 4th of July.
Joey Chestnut seems to like them by the fistful.
Yeah, they gobble those things down. So they built their own factory to do this. So that's fantastic to allow people that comfort to go when you go to Costco. You get yourself a soda, you get yourself a dog, you have a good time, and then you continue your shopping experience as you see fit. But I wonder if it's changed since then. This is an older story, Cratchit. So there's been a lot of changes in the 2 years since this has been written.
So, no, it hasn't. But that's one of the bellwethers people are using for inflation. Is like, well, how is Costco able to maintain its hot dog and soda $1.50, and the other one is Arizona iced tea is still 99 cents.
Yeah. Okay. That is really good.
Joe, what are you sending? Oh, you're okay. Never mind. You're sending gifts. Sorry. Go ahead.
That is a good gauge for how the economy is doing, maybe how people respond to it. So if they're able to keep their costs low, but it sounds like they're subsidizing, and they might artificially keep these prices low just to get people through the doors. Well, and so that's not a real good measure of inflation.
Yeah. No, it's very much a loss leader to get people in the doors.
Yeah.
But I think we should have the next time that whatever jamoke from the Biden administration comes out to tell us that inflation isn't as bad as we all see it actually is, they should be eating a Costco hot dog.
I agree.
Oh, right.
I would love that. And but soon you'll see Costco offering up bug hot dogs. Like, hey, it's a hot dog made out of bugs. It's a bug dog. Hot bugs.
Hot bugs.
Oh, I love hot bugs.
With some Grey Poupon ice cream on top of it.
I love hot dogs and hot bugs. It's crazy. I mean, good story. I'd like it, but I'd be curious. I have never shopped at Costco, so I don't know what the experience is there.
You should go. It's got to be one within 15 minutes of you somewhere.
Don't you need a membership to get in there?
Not to buy the hot dogs.
I don't know. Well, I'm going to go in there. I'm going to get horrifically drunk. I'm going to go to the bathroom and start a fight.
Go to the bathroom, block the door. Yeah. Don't let people in.
And get the shit kicked out of me once again. Now that I'm turning 45 here in a few months, that'll be fun.
It says there is a Costco right across the street from the Fashion Place Mall.
Oh, fantastic! I'll be there.
Yes.
Maybe we'll go there before the movie. Who knows?
That's probably near the movie theater.
Let's drive 50 minutes so I can get into a fight before the movie.
Really enjoy that movie sitting there with an ice bag on your head and your $1.50 Costco
a pounding headache and cracked ribs while I try to enjoy this new Jordan Peele movie.
Yes.
Just remember, don't go to sleep with a concussion.
That's the fun fact for this episode, people.
Why don't your gifts play? Oh, there they go, Gretchen.
Yeah. Because the gifts are activated when the window is active. And since Gretchen runs all those gifts through Discord, if I click on a story, which is in the browser, it deactivates the GIF in Discord. Now, if I can figure out a way to have the GIF running, like always be active. I don't know how to do that yet. I'd have to come up with a new browser window that's always active. I don't know how to do that yet.
Sounds like shenanigans.
Well, thank you, everyone, for hanging out during the live show. Go to obdmpod.com if you want to support the show, or if you want links to all the ways you can listen to us. Download the podcast, tell a friend, because we are not being recommended by any service. We're not being recommended by iTunes, YouTube, Twitch. The only way the show grows is through word of mouth.
And don't just think about your friends. Punch somebody in the back of the head and tell your enemies.
Yeah.
Are you suggesting you instigate violence and then yell, "Our big dumb mouth," and run away?
Hey, it's guerrilla marketing tactics.
Hey, yo.
Say, hey, yo, like Tim Pool says.
Farting audibly.
Farting audibly.
Yeah, it's just a one ham sandwich away.
For anybody in the Kecksburg area, the Kecksburg UFO Festival has resumed after 2 years, and I think it's happening today and tomorrow, so you can check out the Kecksburg UFO Festival. So head on down there, people. That's the whole big UFO incident where an acorn-shaped UFO crashed, and the military showed up to take it away.
They showed up in a giant squirrel robot mech.
One big rickshaw, and they all filed out the back of it. A military rickshaw. Does the military have rickshaws? I'm sure they do.
I want a robot dog sled.
Yeah, that'd be cool too. Amphibious rickshaw. Well, we'll be back on Wednesday, people. Thank you, everyone. Shabla goo. Thank you, Gretchen. Thank you, Joe.
Keep watching the skis for $1.50 hot dogs.
I hate this place. Nothing
Brought to you
here.
by Pfizer. Brought to you by Pfizer.
I've been here for 7 years. Nothing works here.
Where'd he go?
You're
not even fucking close.
I'm on a whole other level.
Oh, he's been.
Medications don't work.
Come on in.
I've been here for 7 years. I hate this place. Nothing works here.
Shut up, Wesley.
Medications
Come cheer
don't
up.
work. I hate this place.
173467321 476 Charlie 32 789777 643 Tango 732 Victor 731178888 732 4767 8976 4376 Lock.
That's about all. Shablagu.
Till next time, take care of yourself and each other.
Sit, Ubu, sit. Good dog.
Sexy chocolate.